Hey everybody, Pastor Stephen Anderson here from Faithful Word Baptist Church in Tempe, Arizona. And I'm going to read another one of the Vedas here from the Rig Veda. And again, remember the Vedas are the basis of Hinduism. The oldest and most important scriptures in Hinduism are the Vedas, which are hymns that are chanted or sung in Hindu temples every single day. Now, when people go to these temples, they don't understand Sanskrit. They don't know how weird they are, okay? But I've got here an English translation, and I'm going to read for you one called The Long-Haired Ascetic. This is from the section on using the drug soma. And, I talked more about that in the last video. But let me read you the introduction first. The long-haired ascetic, an early precursor of the Upanishadic yogi, drinks a drug, probably some hallucinogen other than soma, in the company of Rudra, the master of poison, and a god who is excluded from the soma sacrifice. The hallucinations described in the hymn are related to, but not the same as those attributed to soma drinkers in a bunch of other hymns that they sing about drugs and drug use in Hinduism. Let me just read for you the Veda itself. Long hair holds the fire, holds the drug, holds sky and earth. Long hair reveals everything so that everyone can see the sun. Long hair declares the light. These ascetics, swathed in wind, put dirty red rags on. So up to that point, he's naked. That's why it's talking about him declaring everything, showing everything to the sun. He's swathed in wind, meaning that his only garment is the wind or the air around him. But then he puts dirty red rags on. Then it says, when gods enter them, they ride with the rush of the wind. Now the gods that are entering this long-haired ascetic are actually demons that he's getting possessed with under the influence of these drugs. When gods enter them, they ride with the rush of the wind. Crazy with asceticism, we've mounted the wind. Our bodies are all you mere mortals can see. He sails through the air, looking down on all shapes below. The ascetic is friend to this god and that god, devoted to what is well done. And by the way, that's this demon and that demon is what that really is. The stallion of the wind, friend of gales, lashed on by gods. The ascetic lives in the two seas, on the east and on the west. He moves with the motion of heavenly girls and youths, of wild beasts. Long hair, reading their minds, is their sweet, their most exciting friend. The wind has churned it up. Kunamnama prepared it for him. Long hair drinks from the cub, sharing the drug with Rudra. Now, Hinduism is based on the Vedas. In fact, Hinduism is known as Vedic Dharma. This is the basis. But I wonder if the 1 billion Hindus who constantly are going to these Hindu temples and listening to these songs chanted and sung really know what it's saying. Because, like I said, it's in a foreign language. It's in Sanskrit. So when Joe Hindu walks into a temple, he doesn't know that this is what's being chanted or sung, this bizarre song. I mean, this should explain why people like the Beatles and the Beach Boys back in the 1960s and 70s, they went over to India and started practicing Hinduism, and they brought back all these yogis to the United States and introduced this into our culture. And to this day, we still have this in our culture. It's coming from these long-haired, derelict hippies of India, these drug users, these junkies that, they call a yogi or they call a sadhu or whatever. But these burned out hippies of the 60s, that's why they fit in so well with these people, because they're both just drugged out junkies. I mean, can you imagine a religion that's based on drug use? It's pagan. And by the way, pagan religions all over the world use drugs. For example, the Native Americans, they have peyote. In Southeast Asia, there are all kinds of folk religions where they use drugs to enter the spirit world and communicate with their dead ancestors, etc. But thank God, the Bible teaches us to abstain from alcohol and to abstain from drugs. The Bible tells us over and over again to be sober. Be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit. And over again, God condemns drunkenness. and he tells us to be sober. And so we as Christians, we don't believe in using drugs or alcohol at all. And they certainly don't make us more spiritual. And we certainly wouldn't sing praises to a drug in church or sing the praises of the virtue of taking drugs and getting high. But that's exactly what the Rig Veda has a whole section about. Many of the Vedas praise soma, which is a different hallucinogenic drug than this one, and praise the virtues of drug use. So this is a wicked, demonic religion. It's all about getting naked, taking drugs, being demon-possessed, and abusing your body.